Kazakhstan has chosen the multi-vector integration. Its trends, collisions and prospects are coming up in the Single Market program.
In today's program, the Persian motifs of trade and economic cooperation, digital prospects of small and medium business development. Feel the taste of Armenia. Hello, my name is Pavel Koktышев, and you're watching Single Market. Iran and Kazakhstan. The partnership of these countries entails many intersecting points. Both countries are located in Asia, Iran in the western part, Kazakhstan in the central. And each one of them plays a strategic role in its region. Iran borders 7 countries and Kazakhstan 5. That is why a transnational transport corridor passed across their territories. Our correspondent found out what realities and prospects awaits the partnership of these countries. After the economic and political sanctions against Iran were dropped, the Islamic Republic got a second breath. Today, the country is successfully recovering its economy. And to a great extent, this is happening thanks to its rich reserves of hydrocarbons, the production of which is distinguished by quite low costs.
Iran is the first in the world about the gas reserves and fourth for producing the oil.
By the way, during the period of sanctions, Kazakhstan remained as one of the key partners of Iran. For example, the company Eurasia invested around $70 million into one of the ore mining deposit fields. At that time, it was the biggest business deal. The trade and economic relations between the countries during the period of sanctions were also maintained and continued to develop after the sanctions were lifted. Agricultural products and rolled metal products hold a priority position in the list of imports and exports between the countries. In 2016, the volume of trade turnover between the two countries amounted to $600 million. However, in 2017, according to the results of the first quarter, there was a decline in exports of key products, including rolled metal. The main reason, Kazakhstan's producers started focusing on Russia's sales markets. This was the result of a simple market principle, to sell where it is more profitable. And today it is more profitable to sell on the market of the Eurasian Economic Union. But nevertheless, Iran's market is still interesting for Kazakhstan's exporters. At the same time, some changes were made to the exporting strategy. The aim is to expand the list of exported products and increase export volumes, especially since there are favorable conditions in terms of logistics. The list of potential export products includes oil cultures, meat, frozen meat products, construction materials, electric transformers, and car batteries. For example, Kazakhstan's company Kaynar AKB, the largest producer of car batteries in Central Asia, has good prospects in this respect. The enterprise produces around 2 million units of car batteries annually. The volume of sales on Iran's car market today is more than 12 million batteries. Local producers produce only 7 million, and so the demand for the remaining 5 million is satisfied by producers from nearby countries, such as Pakistan and India. Kazakhstan's group of companies Alina is ready to take trade cooperation with Iran to a new level. It already has experience importing white cement from Iran, which is used for the production of dry construction mixes. Today, Iran is actively developing its construction sector. That is why Kazakhstan's producers have the opportunity to try themselves out in the new role of exporters. The population here is 80 million people, and according to the preliminary information that we were able to obtain, this market is not developed here. In turn, Iran is interested in the realization of its projects on the territory of Kazakhstan. Within the framework of a long-term program on investment in trade and economic cooperation, new areas of cooperation have been defined, including technology exchange.
We established a center for cooperation in the field of new technologies. Based on this agreement, we have more than 30 projects, and fortunately, a few of them now are implemented, and we do hope in the future.
Another window of opportunity for the development of relations between the countries is the process of optimization of logistics. Today, the railway line Janauzian-Kızılkaya-Bereket-Etrek-Gorgan is being actively used, which was built a couple of years ago within the framework of cooperation between Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and Iran. New logistics possibilities allow both countries to play the role of transit corridors. We can be not just a strategic partner for Kazakhstan, but also its export window to Iraq, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Oman, Turkey, and other countries. In turn, Kazakhstan serves as the transport bridge between Iran and China. At the end of January of 2017, for the first time, a cargo train set off from China's city of Yiwu in the direction of Iran. In Kazakhstan, it passed along the new railway line, Janauzian-Gorgan, and in 14 days arrived to its destination, the Iranian station, Sirach. This was much faster than had the cargo been shipped by sea. That is why China is planning to actively use the railway transit through Kazakhstan in the direction of the Persian Gulf. Kazakhstan ties great hopes with the construction of its cargo terminals on Iran's territory, at the port Bandar Abbas and at the railway station in Cheburun. With the help of these projects, our country will be able to expand its presence on the markets of not just countries of the Persian Gulf, but also of Africa, South and Southeast Asia. Alek Boldarev, Nijat Yusupov, exclusively for Single Market. Those who possess information possess the world. This proverb appeared after it was precisely the London banker's Nathan Rothschild's knowledge of Napoleon's defeat at Waterloo which helped him make a fortune in just one day. After 2 centuries, this proverb still maintains its relevance. Even though the means of obtaining and managing information have seen great development. Our correspondent Natalia Romanenko found out how digital technologies can help small and medium businesses of Kazakhstan. In order to keep up with the times, one must constantly improve the organization of one's business. And one of the ways to do this is to use information technologies in service provision. Institutions that are engaged in the support of small and medium businesses of Kazakhstan are today taking on this approach. First and foremost, for entrepreneurs, what is important is speed. That is why we're going to focus on speed and ease of provision of services, as well as transparency. I think this is the main premise. In 2016, the Damu Fund for the Development of Entrepreneurship introduced into its operations an online service for the provision of banking guarantees. Thanks to this introduction, the representatives of small and medium businesses gain an opportunity to get access to loans faster. Starting in 2018, the fund is planning to have all of its services offered through an online format. This will substantially decrease the cost of entrepreneurs as well as for the fund. Today, online platforms assist Kazakhstan's small and medium businesses not just in obtaining financial and consulting support, but also in the search for new sales markets. The online trade platform Zudel became a window of new opportunities for the expansion of trade and economic relations and expansion of export channels. It unites the business communities of countries that are within the Silk Road economic belt.
Silk Road is starting for Kazakhstan, go through Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran, Iraq, Turkey. It's all this country that is very difficult to enter the market for the SMEs, and we are here to help them from A to Z.
Zudel offers a wide range of services: educational, search for clients, promotion of products, translation, background check of clients, payment and delivery. As a result, in less than a year of its operations, thanks to this platform, Iranian companies were able to conclude 2,000 export agreements. Iranian producers had great potential, but exports were primarily focused on the sector of raw materials, while representatives of small and medium businesses did not know how to establish exports abroad.
They don't have a photo, they don't have a description. We did this job for them. They don't have a translation. We did the job for them. We give them a website. We promote them on Google. Now if you go to the Google, you say Iran pistachios or Iran saffron, you will see on Google is #1. And you click there and they can see the product. And after that, we help them for the customer identification. We help them for logistics. We help them to market research.
The trade platform operates in 6 languages: Farsi, Arab, Turkish, English, Russian, and Chinese. That is why clients can find all the necessary information for establishing export contacts, including the legal framework of all the ZUDL member countries, information which is usually available in the language of the country in question.
The most difficult thing is the different law that you have in this region, and the people need to know how the system works, okay? What they are authorized to do. For example, the license. When you want to import, for example, in Kazakhstan, you have a lot of law.
Kazakhstan's representatives are already cooperating through this platform and are considering the possibility of taking part in other international business portals. For example, in the project of the Organization for the Support of Entrepreneurs, BPI France, which was presented this summer at the Astana Economic Forum. The platform Euroquity has been operating in France for already 9 years, where business partners from Europe and the African continent establish contacts.
Euroquity meets with two objectives. The first one is to connect project holders with investors. The second one is to create communities to connect businesses with one another.
At the moment, this social network of business people has 5,538 registered companies, 6,637 investors, and 2,675 organizations for the support of small and medium businesses. In Kazakhstan, the opportunity of introducing a similar platform for entrepreneurs is being considered, and it will be developed in cooperation with BPI France.
Which kind of thing you could develop in?
The memorandum is being signed with the purpose of strengthening joint cooperation between the companies of Kazakhstan and France, which operate on equal and mutually beneficial conditions. Another advantage of information technologies that are being introduced into the sphere of small and medium business is the reduction of bureaucratic barriers. In this respect, the experience of Turkey, where the system of unified registration of entrepreneurs effectively operating in the agro-industrial complex, is quite useful. The country has a unified database that contains all the information about the farmers, the area of the land, type of soil, type of activity that the farmers are engaged in, and the financial data. And all this information can be obtained whilst having the individually assigned number of the entrepreneur.
We don't need any information, we don't need any documents from our clients. So even a farmer just visit to our branch, just giving their ID numbers.
As a result, the decision on loan provision is made in just minutes, and the farmer in question can receive the requested funding in a matter of weeks. In Kazakhstan, almost all the information that is requested by the banks can be found in the database of the Atamikan National Chamber of Entrepreneurs. The issue at hand is the optimization of business processes, of financial structures, and efficient use of this information. As the experience of other countries shows, the more the sector of small and medium businesses uses information technologies, the faster and more transparent is the work on obtaining permits and financial. Today, global tourism is not limited to leisure. Leisurely travel. This sector is trying to expand its geography, market opportunities, and the sphere of offered services. And in this respect, the countries of the Eurasian Economic Union, including Kazakhstan, need to learn from each other. How something can be used as a cause for a good presentation and for attracting tourists. Our special correspondent Laura Jusubekova is ready to heat up the cold season with warmer collections from the first gastronomy festival, the Yerevan Food Fest. To greet a guest with a tasty treat. Gastronomy tourism is something new for us, but it is already becoming incredibly popular. The tourism packages include a multitude of spices, exquisite dishes, special presentation, and of course, compliments from the chef. And the entire essence is in the meaning and the presentation. Armenia demonstrated the great potential of the Eurasian gastronomic tourism in the autumn of 2017. The country held the very first gastronomy festival on the territory of the Eurasian Economic Union, during which guests had all the opportunity to indulge not just in the tastes and aroma of Armenian cuisine, but also feel the connection between different historical periods. More than a century ago, these colorful vessels were used to store a noble drink, the production of which, for Avaga Rutunyan, is a lifelong endeavor, just like for his ancestors who a long time ago commenced the cultivation of grapevines on the hills of Armenian mountains.
территория, где 10 тысяч лет непрерывно, перманентно делали вино, выращивали виноград.
This is a territory where for 10,000 years wine has constantly been made. Grapes were cultivated, a certain philosophy of life was formed. A grapevine is like the tree of life, and wine the meaning of life. Armenia has grape trees growing at altitudes from 400 meters to 2,000 meters above sea level. Here, the diversity of native-born grape varieties reaches 500.
Метров над уровнем моря кончает 2000 метров. Здесь разнообразие аборигенных сортов до 500.
6 million liters. The scale of production of a drink which since ancient times has been considered as a gift from gods is increasing every year in the country, just as its exports to Russia, United States, China, and a number of European countries. In Armenia, people know how to impress their guests. For example, right before our eyes, this royal drink is made, and the process is accompanied by a parable. This drink is only for gods and kings. That is why mere mortals are prohibited from drinking it, because they will not be able to resist it. But this is just a prologue, because if you still have not had the opportunity to try authentic traditional cuisine, that means that you're not yet truly in Armenia. Aram Bagdasaryan, the chef of a restaurant which has taken on the authentic traditions of Armenian villages, told about a dish which enjoys great popularity among tourists. I take aubergines, tomatoes, peel them, and this is how the process starts. Then comes the meat, and then the dish is left in the broiler for some time. However, what attracts is not just the natural flavor of the products, but also their name. Garni Yarach translates as the wolf's mouth. This is just a figurative name of the dish, which looks like a wolf's mouth with a piece of meat inside. Kristina Nazaryan, as the safekeeper of traditions of a restaurant that is unique in Yerevan, tells that all the recipes of the dishes are old and were literally retrieved bit by bit from Armenian villages. That is why if tourists from the Eurasian Economic Union wish to understand the soul and spirit of Armenia, this is better done behind a table. Here we try to recreate the interior of an average village house. I think that in Kazakhstan there are many restaurants which showcase traditional national cuisine to their guests. The desserts in Armenia also impress. The ancient treat baklava was originally baked by the Assyrians in the 8th century BC. Afterwards, the Greeks started making this sweet delicacy. Sometime later, the recipe of this dessert reached Armenia. For a long time, only representatives of the aristocracy and well-off people could treat themselves to this dessert. But today, also can we. Anna Bagdasaryan makes pahlava following the recipe of her great-grandmother. There are many admirers of her culinary skill, and they all leave with the sweet treat as the best gift that bears the true Armenian touch. It is difficult not to lose oneself in such abundance. One can try everything and right away at the Festival of Restaurant Food, which is held annually in Armenia. The unique platform gathers everything that is delicious and authentically Armenian. For the lovers of gastronomy tourism, this is a paradise.
Многие были поражены вкусом, и они говорили, что в Армении очень большой потенциал на гастрономическом рынке мира.
Many were impressed by the dishes and said that Armenia has great potential on the market of world gastronomy. There is an ambitious global goal to turn the festival and Yerevan into a professional platform that would gather culinary specialists. This should be a platform for professional exchange, establishment of business contacts, creation of new projects in the sphere of gastro-tourism.
Для новых каких-то проектов, которые могут быть в гастрономическом туризме.
So this is what the beginning of development of gastronomic tourism in the Eurasian Economic Union looks like. Armenia is inviting everyone for closer cooperation. Through engagement with culinary traditions, tourists will be able to feel not just the warmth of Armenia's sun, but also the warmth of the hands of the professionals who prepare traditional dishes with love. By the way, according to the results of the National Geographic Traveler Rating, in 2017, Armenia was listed in the top 5 countries that are leading in the sphere of gastronomic and agricultural tourism. The country was ranked in an honorable 4th position. Laura Josubekova, Ovanya Sokopian, exclusively for Single Market. That's all from me. My name is Pavel Koktyshev. Kind reminder, all the episodes of our program are available on www.kazakh-tv.kz. Until next time on Single Market.